Hello year 9, 10 and 11. Welcome to day 2 of science. Like I've said before, yesterday, we are looking at the key mathematics skills in chemistry, and we are building up from the very basics, which is what you did yesterday, so that when you were looking at formulas and what the formulas meant, and when you also looked at balancing equations. So those are your standard baseline things that you have to understand before you move on to any of the maths. Now, remember, if you are thinking, I can go a bit quicker than this, I understand this, I need to move on, then you can ask me and I will send you the Key Stage 4 pack, which has some questions starting from what we've done yesterday all the way through to moles and Avogadro's constant, which is what top set year 10 and second set year 10 as well will need to know about. Now, if we go to day 2, we are looking at relative formula mass. Now, this is another really simple concept, but something that a lot of students get wrong because they forget what it is or they don't practice it enough. So today you are going to practice relative formula mass and calculating the relative formula mass of different compounds. Now when you go on here, you've got your periodic table again, and you also have 2 slides of information. Now usually I would make you read this, but I'm also going to talk through some of the key points that I picked up on when I was marking the work from yesterday. So when you are looking at a formula, you are looking at the capital letters to tell you how many elements are there. So in iron chloride, we have iron, one capital letter, and we have chlorine. Now, I don't know if there's an example I can use. Here we go. In aluminium here, in this molecule here, you've got aluminium. You've got another capital letter here, which tells you that's a separate element, so it's sulfur, and you've got another here that tells you that that is a separate element. It's oxygen. So just make sure that when you are looking at them, you understand that capital letter tells you when there is a new element. Now, if you also look, you've got a small 3. That tells you how many atoms of that one type of element you've got. So here you've got 1 iron and you've got 3 chlorine. Now it's important that you understand this before we go on to calculating relative formula mass. Now, if you go to your periodic table and you look for the massive, the big number, that's how you remember it, massive, that is your mass number. And that tells you the mass of that element. Now, the thing to remember is that this is the relative atomic mass. When you are calculating the relative formula mass, when they ask for the formula mass, they're asking for the total mass of that compound. So what they want you to do is what is shown here. You've got 1 atom of iron. If you go to your periodic table, iron is 56. You've got 3 atoms of chlorine. So 3 times 35.5 because chlorine is an isotope. And you will see that you get 106.5. That is the relative formula mass of that element, of that compound. Now, the units are grams per mole. There are some other units, but I want you just to think about grams per mole. Now, year 10, that is really important for you because you are going to go on to look at moles. Whereas year 9, we are going to just kind of trail off in a different direction because you don't need to know that much detail yet. Now, on the next slide, there's another example with brackets. Again, do exactly the same as you have done when you calculate how many atoms and how many elements. So you've got 2 atoms of aluminium because you've got that little 2. You have 3 atoms of sulfur because you've got that in there, but you times it by 3 like you would in maths. And you have 4 times 3, 12 oxygens. And when you add that all together, you get 342 grams per mole. So that is calculating the relative formula mass. Very simple. I'm not going to say any more on that because if I go over things again, I might confuse you. Now, calculating relative formula mass, you have some that are on the slide. Now, if you find this difficult, you can always email me. Please don't sit there and think, oh, miss, I've got no idea what you've just said, what you're talking about. I don't understand your examples. Just ask me because there are YouTube videos out there that can help you, or you might just be that me talking you through it is that little thing that you need to understand it. Don't get disheartened if you can't do it the first time. That's why we practice. That's why we keep recapping, going over these things. And my tops at year 9 are probably thinking, oh my God, we're going to do all of these things again. But you need to practice because you have to be confident when you come back in order to move on to the harder stuff. So you've got 2 pages worth of calculations there. You then have some sheets. Now if you click on them, and you can choose what grade you want to do, they get relatively harder. Now year 9 might have seen some of these sheets before, so if you click on it and you think, oh, that was the one I did before, choose the harder one. Year 10 really should be picking the 3 to 4 and the 5 to 6, and if you click on them, it'll take you to Google Drive, and you'll get the worksheet once it opens. You are going to pick the silver if you are picking the second one. So if you are doing, 2 seconds, if you are doing the grade 3 to 4, that is silver. If you're doing grade 1 to 2, that's bronze. And if you're doing grade 5 to 6, that is your gold. So pick one of those 3 sheets and you can type your answers in here. You can put them into a Word document. It's up to you. You can do them on a piece of paper and take a photo, however you want to do it. Now, once you've done that, that is it for the day. Again, I will be marking and giving you some what went well and even better, because it is very important that I understand who knows what. So keep going, keep trying. If you get stuck, please email me. Just remember, the practice makes perfect. Doesn't matter if you get it wrong 50 times. If you get it right the next 50 times because you made that mistake 50 times and put it right, then I can't complain and you will do well. So keep at it. I will hope to see you all very soon, because I'm really, really bored at the moment and missing you, and just missing people coming into my classroom and having a chat and all of the kind of crack that we usually have. So keep it up, stay safe, see you soon.